Hey guys, it's Amanda. Welcome to my channel. I am so excited to have you today. Today I'm a part of the 5 crafts under $5 each collaboration. I'm really excited and I will tell you more about that in a minute. But for right now, let's jump right into these DIYs. For DIY number 1, I'm going to show you how I made this adorable little frying pan hello sign for $5 using 4 of these small frying pans from the toy section of the Dollar Tree and some of the little cooking tools that came with it, a sign from the Dollar Tree, and some Dollar Tree wooden embellishments. We're going to begin by painting our sign with plaster chalk paint very generously. So once that is done and that is dry, you'll want to take something straight to create 3 lines. Now I have the packaging for my little frying pans on hand and I just went ahead and used the side of it. So I'm creating 3 lines and I'm drawing each one as I go. Now my lines are not perfect. They are a little sloppy and I kind of wanted that look. I just wanted to make sure that they were straight, if that makes sense. And I'm going to be sanding over them to kind of give them a blended in look. So here I am with my little makeshift ruler, just making these 3 lines. And like I said, I do dry the top line before I go for the bottom one, and then I dry that. So there's lots of drying with this craft, but it is very simple and very, very fun. So I get this all dried, kind of touch up little spots that I may have drizzled a little bit of my ink chalk paint, just touching everything up a little bit. So I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you so much for stopping by today. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am so glad to have you here. Please consider subscribing. If you are already subscribed, you are amazing and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. So there you see, I just sanded off lightly the sign and then I went ahead and dried it off or kind of blew it off with my dryer to get any dust off. And here's my little frying pans. We have painted them with 2 coats of Waverly ink chalk paint to get rid of that kind of plasticky toy look, and now I'm going to be gluing them down. I already kind of figured out my placement, so I'm just going to glue them down with sheer bonder hot glue, and the little lips on the side are almost going to be touching because I want space on either side of my sign to put my little utensils. So this comes with a bunch of little fake food and things like that. Of course I didn't want to use that. My kids actually had fun playing with that, but I took the little spatula and the little knife and I painted the little handles with my ink chalk paint, and then I painted the knife blade and the little spatula flipper part with my elephant Waverly chalk paint. I did 2 coats of each just to again get rid of that plasticky look and kind of give it more of a polished DIY look. You know what I mean, y'all. So once that is all done, sorry I lost a little bit of footage, but I just crisscrossed them over, glued them together, and wrapped a tiny bit of ribbon around them. I'm so sorry I lost that footage, but it's easy peasy. And once you get them the way you want them, I just tack them down on either side of my sign. Then I go to my Cricut and I print out my H, my M, my E, and I believe it was cottage fonts, and a little tiny cow. I go to images and type out cow. Now, if you do not have a Cricut, Dollar Tree sells stickers. All of your craft stores sell stickers, stencils. You could print out something and trace it. The sky is the limit. As well as for this little cow, you can find all kinds. Dollar Tree actually had some little cow stickers. You can find all kinds of things, but this is just how I do it. So once I get those into place, I actually had used a tiny bit of my plaster chalk paint to go around the edges of my frying pan, but again, that was in the little bit of footage that I lost, but you'll see me going over this a little bit more with my plaster chalk paint. But for now, I'm just popping 2 of those little burlap and black polka dot bows, and then alternating, I'm popping 2 of those very same bows with a little bit of that Dollar Tree pretty kind of burlappy lace ribbon on top, just to give my bows some interest and a little bit of a different look. And that is actually the ribbon that is wrapped around my utensils. So that is how I thought that looked really pretty. And I did go around the edges of my sign with that ink chalk paint to give it a tiny bit of a enameled look. I hope you like this one. So today I'm part of the 5 Under 5 DIY challenge with my friend Missy from the Crafty Cove. Y'all know I absolutely love her. She is super amazing. I appreciate her. Her crafts are great. She will be linked below. And Emily from Chic, she is super sweet as well. Great DIYs. You'll definitely want to check her out. And Shannon from Crafty DIYs, Shannon's Crafty DIYs. You'll never meet a sweeter person. So they'll be linked below. Check them out. With all that being said, DIY number 2. So for DIY number 2, I'm going to show you how I created this cute and adorable set of cutting boards for just over $2. So the rules for this challenge is you have to create 5 DIYs for $5 or less. I'm counting this as one because it's a set. So each cutting board from the Dollar Tree is going to cost me $1. And then these little handle pieces that I am gluing on the middle of the top of my cutting board with my Sherbunder hot glue, they are just the handles for some 5-gallon, sorry guys, getting tongue-tied, from some 5-gallon paint sticks that I had used in a different DIY. Those paint sticks come about 3 for $1 from your craft store or Walmart. So then I paint one of my little cutting boards with my Waverly ink chalk paint and one with my Waverly plaster chalk paint once I get those handles adhered. I take my plaster cutting board, I print out this little stencil from my Cricut, and I just, I printed it out, but then I weeded out the middle to use it as a stencil, if that makes sense. And I filled it in with my ink chalk paint. But again, stickers, stencils, print out, the sky is the limit, you guys. Then I made sure this was dried really, really well before I went ahead and removed this vinyl that I used as my stencil. And then it's not perfect, but it's good enough for me, and I think it's cute. And I just touch up any little bleeds or any little edges with a tiny little paintbrush. Then I go to my ink one, and I had used some white vinyl. I had just printed out Farmhouse Kitchen by typing Farmhouse in my images, and then I typed weather vane in my images and got this cute little weather vane, and I just put it on, easy peasy. So then I took this Dollar Tree ribbon that I used in the previous craft. I lined it along the bottom. Think that's really pretty, just little dabs of my Sherbunder hot glue. I put 2 little pieces of lamb's ear, one on either side of my handle, and put a teeny tiny Dollar Tree lace bow in the middle. Then I decided I needed a border at the top as well to make it look even. So I just went ahead and kind of tucked that ribbon under there and gave it a little border. So this is my Farmhouse Kitchen one. And in a second, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I embellish the other one. I just love the contrast and the pops of black and white. So now I took my 3 little animals. I am again going to embellish the bottom with that pretty ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I absolutely love this ribbon, you guys. And then I'm going to wrap a little piece around the top, crisscross it in the back, and glue it down. Watch your fingers. Dollar Tree does sell finger protectors. I am just horrible at remembering to use them. This ribbon is from the Dollar Tree as well, this burlap ribbon with little black polka dots. I just tie a tiny little bow with my Dollar Tree twine. Almost everything in this video is going to be from Dollar Tree, you guys. And then I just tie it off and cut off any excess. Oh my goodness. You guys, I say in almost every video that I need more coffee, but it is forever true. So then I remember the lamb's ear. So go ahead and tuck a little piece of lamb's ear on either side before I pop my bow down. And I decided to add a little lace bow in the middle of this burlap bow just to give it a little interest and make it cute. I want it to match the other one but not be exactly the same. So here they are. I absolutely love them. Just over $2 for a set, you guys. I think these are super cool and customizable. You'll have to let me know what you think. But we're getting right into our DIY number 3. So for DIY number 3, I'm going to show you how I made this door hanger family gathers here splatter screen craft. You don't have to hang it on your door. You could hang it on a wall, or you could just stand it up on a table. The sky is the limit. You don't have to use this placemat. You could use any placemat, gift bag, print out, calendar page. Again, the sky is the limit. But I just kind of put my splatter screen down and I traced right through it so I knew exactly where to cut. And then I'm actually running out of my tacky glue, so I was scraping the bottom bottom of the barrel, you guys, but this will stick to your screen with some tacky glue. And then once I go ahead and run the rope around the edges, it will give it even more stability and hold it on even better. Okay, so once I do that, I'm just kind of pressing it down, making sure it gets on there well. Now this is rope from the Dollar Tree, and this is going to be my first loop around. So I'm going to glue toward the outside, and I'm going to run it all the way around the outside of my splatter screen so it's kind of flush with the table, directly on the outside of the screen. I'm going to use a generous amount of glue, but not too much, because I don't want to glue this entire craft to my table, you guys. And I have done something like that before. So, learning from our mistakes. You guys, we keep it real life here. I have 6 kids. I have dogs. It is a real life. And I am the first to admit that I am not a perfect crafter, and I have made some pretty funny mistakes. So, again, I'm just going to take this rope, and I'm actually going to run this first layer right up this handle, gluing every couple of loops. And then once I get to the top, I'm just going to cut it off and glue it down to cover up that handle. And then I'll just kind of trim around as needed, but just poking this down using lots of glue and then kind of holding it into place as it dries. Then once that is done and all neat and tidy and trimmed off, I'm going to go back around my splatter screen with another layer of the rope. And this time my rope is going to be toward the inside of my splatter screen. And I'm actually going to drizzle a little bit of glue between my 2 pieces of rope to hold them together, if that makes sense. It might be a little bit easier to see than me trying to explain it, but I'm actually drizzling this glue in between them here so they hold each other together. And then again, this rope is directly on top of that little placemat, so it is going to give the placemat some more stability and holding it in place there. Now I'm going to go all the way up to the top, and then I'm just going to trim it off, and then we can begin my favorite part, embellishing. So I'm not really considering this a fall craft, but it would be perfect for fall. I was just kind of going for the farmhouse look. It does kind of have some farmish vibes and also has some fallish vibes, but I'm kind of focusing more on the farmhouse for this video. This is supposed to be a farmhouse video, so but I think it would be good all year. So cute. So I'm making an attempt at a messy bow here. So I take some of that gorgeous burlap that I purchased at a yard sale. I've used it in several DIYs. It's so pretty. And then I take this burlap lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree and my burlap ribbon with the little black dots on it from the Dollar Tree, some Dollar Tree tan tubing, some Dollar Tree brown burlap. This is actually the rest of what I have. I hope I can find some more. I have a lot of ideas for it. So anyway, I'm just crisscrossing and piling this all up. I've watched several people make messy bows and they're not supposed to be tidy, so I'm just piling it all up. Then I have a little bit of this pretty raffia from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just taking another piece of Dollar Tree twine and tying it as tight as I possibly can in the middle, making a couple knots, and then I'm just going to kind of give it a little haircut where needed there and trim off my little pieces of twine. Then once I get that all ready, it's ready to be popped onto the very bottom of the handle of my splatter screen. Now, I know somebody's going to notice, y'all, but my placemat is not perfectly straight, and honestly, I kind of wanted it a little tiny bit leaning because I didn't want my bow to be like directly on top and want it to be like perfectly uniform, if that makes sense, because I think rustic and farmhouse is all about, you know, a little bit of imperfection and just like the gorgeous little mistakes, if that makes any sense. So I didn't want everything like perfect and straight. So I did tilt my placemat a little tiny bit. You absolutely don't have to do that, but I like the idea of the bow just a little bit to the side, but I couldn't really move the handle. So anyway, sorry about that little ramble, you guys, but then I just go to the bottom. As you saw, I take those little pieces of ribbon, crisscross them along the bottom side there, and then I put 3 of these gorgeous little cotton stems right on top. These little cotton stems come 2 large ones to a pack at the Dollar Tree, or 3 of these kind of medium-sized ones. So here is my gorgeous little splatter screen craft. I really hope that you guys like it. It is very versatile. Let me know what you think. in the comments down below. I would love to get your opinion. So now let's move on to DIY number 4. So for DIY number 4, I'm taking this white milk jug that I had purchased. I don't even remember where, you guys, but I know it was on sale. I think I paid $2 or $3 for it. Now you could totally chalk paint over it with the plaster. I didn't really feel like that was necessary at this point. So I actually took my little tiny dabber brush from the Dollar Tree and some Waverly ink chalk paint to give this an enameled look. I went around all the raised edges and the handle with this chalk paint. I had to go over it a couple times just to give it a really nice look. And then I just kind of went in here and there and kind of dabbed it on. Now this takes a second to dry on this type of material, so you have some grace and you can kind of go ahead and wipe with your finger or a rag or a paper towel any little bits that you don't like. But I kind of love this smudgy enameled look. This is exactly what I was going for. This craft was just super easy peasy. So maybe you have a little milk jug or a plain, vase or container that you just kind of want to dress up a tiny little bit. This is the easiest way, especially if it's white, or you can paint it white and just give it that enamel look. It's so popular and so pretty. I absolutely love it. And it's so nice to just kind of change up old decor that maybe you've had sitting around for a while and just want to give a little facelift. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to go to my Cricut. But again, you guys, Dollar Tree has so many options. And I'm going to make a little decal for it. But before I do that, I'm taking my Dollar Tree twine. I think I went around about 4 times there at the top, under the handles, and kind of glue that down. Then I just wrap, I'm sorry I went out of frame while I'm wrapping this twine around my fingers to create a finger bow, but that's really all I did. I just wrapped it around my fingers several times and tied it in the middle. And again, I'm sorry that was out of frame, but there that is. And here's my little M that I printed off in Cricut Design Space. I literally went into images, typed out M, and this was one of the options, and I think it is so pretty. Now this vinyl I actually purchased at the Walmart. They had 3 different patterns of black and white that came in one pack for $5. I was so excited. I chose this pattern. I absolutely love it. I just go ahead and center it underneath my bow there, and I think that this gave this milk jug such a cute little makeover. I've been loving the black and white, you guys, and I actually used a Dollar Tree transfer tape. Actually, it's like their clear shelf liner tape, and it worked really well as transfer tape. So there's a tip. You can save a lot of money on transfer tape by using that Dollar Tree clear shelf liner. So here's this DIY. I know it was simple, but I hope that you like it. And we're going to move right into our last DIY, which is DIY number 5. This is a little set that I made, and it's so cute. I absolutely love it. So I had this little milk jug from Hobby Lobby. It was $1.99, but it was half price. No, I believe it was $2.49 half price, something like that. It was not very much at all, just over $1 after I got my 50% off. So we went ahead and painted this white with a plaster chalk paint, 2 coats. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I got out of frame here a little bit, but 2 coats, and then I go ahead and do the same trick to give it an enameled look. Now I know a lot of people love the galvanized look, and I love the galvanized look as well, but I have a whole shelf of galvanized things, and I really like the enamel look too. So that's what we do to this tiny little milk jug, this mini milk jug. We give it an enameled look. So once I am done with that and I get it exactly the way I want it and it's all dried off, sorry about that little kind of scrap of paper on the table. I was using it to protect my tablecloth. But once I get that exactly how I want it, I make sure it is super dry before I go ahead and apply my Dollar Tree stickers. Now, I know a lot of you may not have been able to find these stickers, and I'm so sorry about that. I really hope everybody who couldn't find them can find them. I'm crossing my fingers for you guys, but I decided to use them on this tiny milk jug. So I put a cow on either side, kind of centered below those little handles there. And I did dab the side of each handle with a little bit of that ink chalk paint as well. So now once I get a cow on either side, I'm just going to kind of go on either side of my cow with some of these cute little tiny, I believe they're eucalyptus leaves, and I'm just going to kind of put that on either side of my cow on either side. Sorry, that's kind of a mouthful. And then we will be done with our cute miniature little milk jug. I absolutely love how this came out. And again, it was super simple, but really, really cute. And just in case you have something laying around that you kind of want to decorate, but you're not quite sure, I'm just trying to give some easy ideas. And I did forget, I did pop a little rose on each side in between each handle. I absolutely love these gorgeous little roses. They are so, so pretty. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this cute little bottle cap from the Dollar Tree, and we give it 2 very generous coats of my plaster chalk paint after removing that little rope hanger on the top. And then you know it, you guys, here I go again with my little enamel look using my Waverly ink chalk paint. I'm sorry about that little bit of noise. Y'all know I have 6 kids and it's summer and they are crazy. So here I go, just kind of doing around the edges and dabbing little bits around the inside just to give it a nice enamel look. Then I go back to those stickers because I do want these 2 pieces to match. So I just take this little sticker that says homemade with a love and I put that in the middle. And then I take 2 of these gorgeous little roses and kind of catty corner them. And again, 2 of these cute little white and black checkered hearts and kind of catty corner them as well. Then in the middle of each one I put these gorgeous little eucalyptus leaves, and I just think that this is so, so pretty, and I absolutely love this little set. It's perfect for a kind of little vignette or any little space that you might have in your home or a tiered tray. I replaced my sticker there because I got a little smudge of paint on it, but I just think this is such a fun idea. And again, I do love the galvanized look, but I also like a lot of other looks. So then in the middle of each side, I put another tiny little leaf. Then I go ahead and I replace that little hanger that came on this little bottle jug. I just push the ends through and it holds it on there. So I hope that you guys like this little set. Again, I know it's a very easy concept, but I think it's super adorable, and I hope you enjoyed this whole video today. Please stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. Come back and see what I have in store for you next time.
You can subscribe to my mom's channel, and thank you for watching today's craft, and stay safe.